Homelessness is increasing. Most of it is due to mental health and addiction. Others may be because of medical debt, job loss, domestic violence, recent released from prison, teen kicked out by parents also. Low income families spend more than half of their income on rent. Only 37 affordable and available homes exist for every 100 low income. By criminalizing homelessness, black people are now more likely to be cited and their belongings taken away. Most homeless shelters don't have enough bed for everyone. They have 8 p.m. curfews which someone with a job that lasts until 10 p.m. cannot be accommodated. They kick people out after sleeping there for a while at the homeless shelter. So, a first step to dealing with homelessness, I would suggest is permanent housing. Mostly I would say funded by a government expense. With services for residents such as counseling, healthcare, job training, wellness classes, and also substance abuse treatment. But the issue isn't the government funding. It is the white people who don't want those properties built around them. They have fear of increased crime, worrying of their property value decline, and some don't want to be put together with people of different social class. Mobile home can be a solution to the housing affordable crisis. Around one-eighth of Americans live in a mobile home, that is, 20 million people. They can cost up to 50% less per square foot than a conventional house. And some of the biggest investors have moved into this industry, like Warren Buffett with Clinton Homes. So the homes lived by some of the poorest people are owned by some of the richest people in America. Well, this has led to corresponding spikes in rental fees. Mobile homes, one third of mobile homes dwellers own their homes, but not the land. And mobile homes goes down in value. And with that said, they pay rent for the land to park owners. And big investor firms such as the Carlton Group with $206 billion in assets are buying the parks and increasing rents on people with fixed income. Mobile homes are not really mobile. Moving it can destroy them, and those that can will cost 4,000 or even up to 20,000. And people with low income can't afford it. And that's why it attracts some of the biggest investors. So my solution to this, I would suggest is for residents to band together and buy their own parks. Another solution I would suggest is to have laws in every state that gives residents right of first refusal and time to raise funds if the current owner plan to raise rent. One third of Americans are renters, which make them vulnerable to eviction. Evictions are incredibly damaging with long-term effects. Eviction is linked to heightened residential instability, substandard housing, decline in neighborhood quality, and even job loss. From individual level, eviction has led to families losing their possession to significant difficulty obtaining a new house. Rents have significantly raised more than income. Majority are spending half of their income on renting, and some up to 70% or more on rent. Black households are twice likely to be evicted than white households. Black women are especially vulnerable to eviction. Rental relief funds in some states are limited, unable to help tenants. Example, Houston Rental Relief Fund of $15 million was gone within 1 hour during pandemic. The HEROES Act is a $100 billion fund to help people facing eviction, funded by the federal government, but multiple high-level Republicans have expressed their latency to pass the relief package. Alright guys, so since home ownership is a key component of building wealth, only 45% of black people are homeowners and 78% of white are homeowners. The wealth gap is so huge such that for every $100 with a white person is $13 on black people. A median net worth in a white family is $188,000, while black family is $24,000. Where your house is and how much it's worth impacts so many things about your quality of life. This is because most things are funded through property taxes. So better homes lead to better schools and more resources like cleaner streets and better neighborhoods. Ratio covenant is a neighborhood regulation forbidding the sales of a house to a non-white person. Federal government got involved to ensure your home loan so that the bank can accept significant small down payment and lower interest. But it was intentional, the exclusion of black people. They have color-coded regions based on credibility, but they have included areas with black people on those regions in red line, making it easy. The regions with black people are ineligible for mortgage insurance. This has led to the link of racial members in a community and the value of the property. I'll explain to this in the end. So, the Fair Housing Act was made to make racial discrimination illegal. So that sounds like a great solution. And they also had developed a program on withholding federal grants from communities that refused to integrate. But President Nixon abolished it. Due to this, realtors can still steer buyers based on racial bias. Black people are routinely denied conventional mortgage loan at a higher rate. They even control applicants' income, loan amount, and neighborhood. Even after black people buy a home, they can still be tainted by discrimination to get an approval. So what I was saying earlier, so this means that they discriminating black people by not giving them the right appraisal for their properties. So for most black families, their property is said to be either the same or going down in value compared to a white family, which when they are given an appraisal, the value of their home tends to go up in value. which increase their net worth and able to get better loans in the long run. A solution I would suggest for housing discrimination is reparation, but 1 out of 10 of white people support the idea, so this is less likely to happen to resolve the conflict. And one thing I've noticed is that home prices have risen much more than wages. This has led to people spending more than half of their income on house payment, and some and others up to 70% or more on house mortgages. This makes them more vulnerable to eviction and their property taken away, losing their homes and leaving their families in the streets. Or let's not forget about divorce cases, because most divorce cases are caused due to financial problems, and a family struggling to meet each need, they are vulnerable to that. African Americans are exposed to 38% more polluted air than white people, and 75% more likely to live in a community that borders a plant or a factory. The exposure persists even when controlling income. Black people who make 200,000 are more exposed to air pollution than white people making 25,000. Pollution is a driving factor to conditions such as heart disease, asthma, and death, such that black people are 3 times likely to die from exposure to pollution. Most black people didn't choose to live in an industrial area. Racist zoning policy has made African Americans households live in areas with high lead and unclean water, industrial waste, and pipelines. Federal government law doesn't require its agency to tell the dwellers that the area is located on Superfund site. Well, Superfund is is officially classifies something in the government record as very dangerous. 70% of hazardous waste on Superfund sites are located within 1 mile of federally assisted housing. Toxic air pollution is linked to higher cancer rate among impoverished communities, such as in Louisiana. The government continues to prioritize the profits of industries over the health of people. People who live in such areas have a hard time selling those properties, and the government has designated communities of color as sacrifice zone to air pollution and factory waste.